All right, our speaker for today is somebody who is a co-founder of Unity 5 Cities and has given us many wise messages, and she's got another one this morning. One of my favorite speakers, Therese Solimeno, licensed Unity teacher. Please.
Thanks, everybody. I'm going to sit in this chair because I always admired Perry Como. No, no, actually, if I weren't sitting, I have this tendency to pace around the room, and I think it'd be like this, and then it would be like this, and the camera couldn't keep track of me. So, anyway, it's really interesting how forces conspire to give you validation about your title. I chose Only Human weeks ago. And then there's a line in today's Daily Word, which I promise I did not see before it was published. And it says, "The glory of God is revealed in me as I release the thought that I am only human," and et cetera, et cetera. But so I think I need to talk about this. A few weeks ago, Timber Hawkeye was the speaker, and he was talking about the struggle he often feels between his spiritual self and his ego. And we hear that a lot. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience on this planet. And it seems to me that the physical side of us gets short shrift, meaning that we're somehow always trying to tamp down what's human in ourselves, because the human part of us can get kind of ugly at times, individually and collectively. We do fall short as human beings. But I'm here to advocate for the human side of us and for the ego side of us, because it's all part of how we learn. You can't see it, but I'm wearing a little pin, and it is a Tasmanian devil guardian angel. And a friend of mine gave this to me. I never asked her why specifically, but and I love this pin because it reminds me that there are two sides to me. The human side is how we learn. The human side is how we walk through this planet. And without it, we probably wouldn't learn the deep lessons. I try to imagine what it would be if I were nothing but pure spirit. Yeah, I'd be all love. I'd be all knowing. I'd probably be all. But I wouldn't get the hugs. I wouldn't get the kisses. I wouldn't be able to chase after my dog when we go for a walk. I mean, there's value in having this human experience. And I don't know that we push that enough, that the human side of us has value, and it is just as valuable as the spiritual side of us. Do you understand what I'm getting at here? It's funny how we learn these things too, even as little beings. I have this 15-month-old niece, and she's very verbal. She doesn't say anything, but she's very verbal. And my nephew took a picture of her. It was during the recent Super Bowl. And someone put a hat, a Rams hat or some hat on her, and it caused her to just start yada, 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 yada. And the video that they took of her, she's standing there and she is speaking her mind. But at one point she goes, and I thought, isn't that that's how we express ourselves. That's how we express our humanness, our bodies. What would we do without these bodies that we hopefully care for and use to experience this planet? So I look at the parts of us, the ego parts of us that we're always trying to tamp down or correct. And, Timber talked about how he knows that when he feels that struggle, and he knows that when he feels that pain, that there is an absence of love in his world. And what we need is more of that, right? Again, it's coincidence. They sang more love. That certainly is the remedy for trying to balance our human sides and our spiritual sides. But, you know, we've had great examples throughout history of how the human part of us is important. Jesus, you might have heard of him, was this great philosopher, this great example. And he's probably the best, Western example of love and forgiveness and compassion and kindness and all the things that I always talk about. They're the essence of our spiritual journey. But he got mad. He got angry, and he used his anger as a tool. And I think that is part of the journey that we're on, is to embrace our humanness, but use it as a tool. When we do get upset, what does that mean? When we do have thoughts that are unkind, do we have to speak them? We can just have them, and then see if, we can take a moment to either not say what we're really thinking, or ask ourselves in that split second that happens just between our ears, why am I feeling this? Why am I even thinking this? What is really going on here? That is what metaphysics are about. What is under the physical? When we're sad, when we're disappointed, when we feel like we want to lash out, what is all of this stuff telling us? But without it, we would not learn. We would not have the lessons that we need in order to proceed on our journey. The ego gets short shrift. I need to say that 5 times fast so I don't have to choke on it every time I do. But because somehow, the ego, we try to overcome it, or we try to pretend like it's, it's the bad part of us. There is no bad part of us. There's just the good parts of us, and they're just parts of us that need to be examined and learned. And I find that I'm getting better as I go along with controlling this ego part of me. But it's not the part that, after you meditate, you feel great. After you pray, you feel great. That's not when we have to be aware of what we're doing. It's in those moments when someone just gives you a look, and something in you says, I don't like that look. Or somebody says something to you on the phone, usually a customer service representative from the cable company. And you feel your body's is giving you a signal. I'm tensing up, I'm getting angry, I'm getting something. What is this? What is this really about? So let's appreciate these bodies. Let's appreciate the humanness. I think of these bodies kind of like, you can't appreciate the underwater world of Jacques Cousteau if you weren't wearing a scuba diving suit. And that's what this is. They talk about this is our vehicle for navigating this planet, because we need something that breathes oxygen, and we need something with arms and legs to move us around. And how do we relate that? You can't fully appreciate what's happening under the sea if you're not wearing the right equipment. But we can't fully appreciate what this world has to offer us if we're not wearing the right equipment. And this is our equipment. And what goes along with that are our emotions and our feelings and all of that stuff that goes with it. So anyway, I suppose I could go on and just say the same thing. But my message today is not to discount the human part of us, not to discount the physical part of us. I like to eat, and without this body, I wouldn't be able to. I like to love, I like to laugh, and without this body, I wouldn't be able to. And someday we will find out what it's like to navigate the world without it. And it would probably be very interesting, but it will be a very different experience than what we're having on this planet right now in this moment in time. And I see this life as a vacation. I took a seminar one time and somebody said, what if this is your spring break and after death you have 10,000 years of organic chemistry? And I thought, oh my God, what a great way of thinking about how we spend our time on this planet. When I go on vacation, I want to see everything. I want to experience everything. I travel for a living. It's just for me, it's just a great way to be. And it's going to resume again this Thursday. I'm going to be gone for 12 days. And, you know, and actually for the next few months, I have a few things coming up and I'm very excited about it. But when I get to the towns that I'm working at, I always find a way to figure out what else can I see, except Las Vegas. I've seen Las Vegas. Not sure it's something I want to keep seeing, but even then, it's very interesting just to people watch. That's the best part about it. Our humanness allows us to do that. Our humanness allows us to travel this world. It allows us to just be in our houses and read and play with our animals and do what it is that we want to do. But without it, we really can't enjoy this vacation. So as usual, yeah, I'm very influenced by popular culture and songs and TV shows and whatever else. And there's a song, and it's actually a fun, very upbeat song. And if I played it, we'd probably all be dancing on the carpet. But I wanted you to be able to hear the words. So I'm gonna sing this song. No, I'm not gonna sing it. Sorry, I'm gonna speak this song. Sorry, scared you there for a minute. Scared myself, actually. It's by this wise modern day philosopher known as the Piano Man, or Billy Joel. And it's called You're Only Human, Second Wind. You're having a hard time and lately you don't feel so good. You're getting a bad reputation in your neighborhood. It's all right. It's all right. Sometimes that's what it takes. You're only human. You're allowed to make your share of mistakes. You better believe there will be times in your life when you'll be feeling like a stumbling fool. So take it from me, you'll learn more from your accidents than anything you could ever learn at school. It's not always easy to be living in this world of pain. You're going to be crashing into stone walls again and again. Though you feel your heart break, you're only human, you're going to have to deal with heartache. Just like a boxer in a title fight, you've got to walk in that ring all alone. You're not the only one who's made mistakes, but they're the only things you can truly call your own. Don't forget your second wind. Wait in the corner till that breeze blows in. Because you're thinking everything's gonna go wrong. Sometimes you just want to lay down and die. That emotion can be so strong, but hold on till that old second wind comes along. You probably don't want to hear advice from someone else, but I wouldn't be telling you if I hadn't been there myself. Sometimes that's all it takes. We're only human. We're supposed to make mistakes. I survived on those long, lonely days when it seemed I did not have a friend. All I needed was a little faith so I could catch my breath and face the world again. Don't forget your second wind. Sooner or later, you'll feel that momentum kick in. Now, one of the things I love about this song, besides the music and the words, is the imagery of the second wind and the breath. Does that remind you of any other imagery that we use in our spiritual world? I mean, I think of God sometimes and how God works, and it's like the wind. You can't see it, but you can sure feel it, and you can see its works. And I think it's interesting that consciously or not, he evoked wind and breath and respiration, spirit in his song. So So that's my message to you is that, you know, whenever you hear anyone say, well, I'm only human, you say, and thank God for that. Thank you very much for listening.